What up, peeps? It's your girl Dash coming back to you for real takes. As you all know, it's that time again. It's movie news time. There's a couple of things that came across, my radar that I want to discuss, and some pending stuff going into the following year, and a couple new things that are kind of coming to the forefront that I'm actually excited about. So with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the first order of business I want to discuss is a movie that I'm looking forward to seeing because of the pairing. It's a movie called Hold Back the Stars, and it's starring John Boyega and Letitia Wright. Now, those two, I love the thought of them both being in this particular movie. The chemistry I feel for both of them in previous films, I feel like them coming together will be a nice little touch. Now, this premise of the movie and the novel, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the movie Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. Now, for what they're telling me, the story follows a pair of lovers as they are recalled their time together on a utopian Earth while trapped in an airless void of space with only 90 minutes left to live. Now, the director for this is Mike Cahill. He actually is attached to the show Night Flyer, so I'm actually excited about that. And yeah, I'm liking this pairing. Now, I became more versed with Boyega, of course, with the Star Wars movies. The most recent, of course, Force Awakens, and of course, he did, the what is it, the one, previously. He's working on, Star Wars, #9, and I'm actually excited to see him in that. Now, for Letitia Wright, we all came to know her as being such a scene stealer when she did Black Panther, and of course, being in Avengers, Infinity War. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be bringing to the table for Avengers 4. They feel like she's going to play a good part in dealing with the ramifications of, Thanos' little, as you all snap or whatever. So I'm looking forward to seeing her, hone those skills and all, and just getting more time, whatever, and all that for being, amidst of a big, very, very well-known cast. For you to stand out, you got to bring some to it. And she did such a great job in Black Panther, and then her parts in, like I said, Infinity War. So I'm excited for them both. I'm excited for them coming together in this and playing lovers. I know recently they were earlier in the year at the Met Gala together. They went together as a little date, whatever, and I like that. So I don't know if it's kind of prior to them knowing they were going to be attached to this upcoming movie that they decided to just go as, of course, as friends or whatever and all that, and then here we are talking about them being in a movie together. So I thought that was rather fitting. Now, they're not stating exactly anything else about when production will start, what else we'll know about, who else will be cast at this present time, excuse me. So I'm looking forward to knowing more. And you all know how I always say, when I know more, you will know more. I'm looking forward to knowing exactly who else will be in this. If it's just basically all stemmed around them, depending on how the novel is set, the way they want to depict it from the novel adaptation, that will be nice to see. So, but I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was a nice little bit of information. Plus, a friend of mine brought it up to me. I'd already know about it, but I said I wanted to discuss it if I did some movie news, and I would just bring it up, at the forefront of that. So, but with that, moving on. Now, this one, you already know how I feel because I've discussed this last couple of months, really wanting to know more and hopefully know more. And this has to do with Hellboy. Now, we still have not seen a trailer. I don't know what is going on, but I figured by January we'll see something. Since it was supposed to come out in January and it's been pushed to April, I feel by December or January we will see something finally. We have gone almost a full year of not knowing anything except at the time knowing that David Harbour from Stranger Things was attached to this. And at that moment I wasn't all too keen about it because I was bummed because honestly I really wanted Del Toro to finish the full trilogy of it, whichever, but then certain things fell through. They didn't want to pay the money, whatever, and then here we are later, and they now decided to just do a full reboot, and here we are doing this one. Of course, the big red will be going against the Blood Queen, which will be played by Mila Jovovich. I'm fine with that. I'm a fan of her work, just going back for ages, and looking forward to the fact that we have another person that's been cast. I want to say it's Thomas Hayden Church. He has been brought on to play Lobster Johnson. Now, I'm excited for this because I'm not familiar with that particular ruthless, vigilante type of person who's, I'm assuming, in the comics. I didn't read Hellboy comics. I don't know anything about his particular character, but I'm excited for him because I've seen him in many roles. Mainly one of them that people like to remind us about is Spider-Man 3, which was helmed by Sam Raimi. He played Sandman. I remember that very vividly because that movie was just stretched with so many different characters within it that it was just a lot going on in that particular movie, but it is what it is now. But I'm happy to see that this is, him being a part of another comic, adaptation. So we'll get to see him. He's very eclectic how he can do comedy and drama. And I like that. He can play at whatever scale he needs to, whatever, in regards to whatever, because he does many, many types of different movies and TV shows of genre. So that's one thing about him. Whatever he needs to bring to it, being very, ruthless and a little bit of, comedy, thinly veiled, I can see the potential in that. And that will be really interesting to watch him do. So I'm looking forward to that. But like you all know, I really am looking forward to seeing a trailer. It's interesting to me that we didn't hear anything about him being attached to this at all throughout all this time, all this year. Now we saw a poster. They did the New York Comic Con, and now we're finding out he's actually attached, whichever, which probably will give it a little bit extra added intrigue to a lot of people, because now they're letting out some more information about who else is cast as well. You see the poster, we already knew, like I said, Milla, other characters are attached, whichever. Some people who were supposed to be attached, like Ed Skrein, but he stepped down because they wanted to stay faithful to the source material, with a particular individual who was supposed to be of, I want to say, Asian descent, and that was supposed to be Ed Skrein, but then he wanted to have them reflect whatever, and he decided to step in, which I thought was rather noble on his part, whichever. He'll be fine because he's in the leader battle angel, so yay for him for that. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing again the trailer, and I'm saying, hopefully after Christmas holiday going into New Year we'll see it, because it won't be much longer. Once January gets here, it's just things are going to just be coming out for all these different movies, because I discussed it many a times. We are fully loaded for 2019. There's so much stuff coming out. It is ridiculous. So I'm excited for it. I love me some movies, so I'm here for it. So, but with that one, definitely excited about that. Looking forward to seeing him do his thing in this. And now I'm getting excited to see David Harbour do his thing as well. So, like I said, people know Ron Perlman gave his, his blessing to go on, whichever. And when you look at him, honestly, I really still feel I see Ron Perlman. No offense to him because of the way they did the makeup, but he, you can't really tell there's David. Honestly, you would still think it was Perlman. So that makeup is like something out of this world, the way they did that, because I would never even guess that somebody else was playing that role. So, but anyway, looking forward to that. So moving on, you guys. Speaking of another comic book led, I'm excited because now we know who will be paying Cassandra Cain. Now for this one, I had to get her name to write this down. Her name is Ella J. Basco. I'm excited for her because this is a young girl. I'm not familiar with her at all. She's very young. And when I looked at her face, as I'm going to post it up here for you all to see, I was like, looks rather young. I don't know how young she's supposed to be depicted in the show, in the actual movie. So that was kind of interesting to me. Anybody in the comment section can kind of go into a little detail as to me understanding her being how young she's supposed to be depicted in the comics as opposed to how she looks now. I don't know if that's a young picture they're putting out of her, and she could be in her, like, late teens, or very, very young. Now I know the character that she's playing, she definitely is a daughter of assassins. I know her parents are supposed to be David Cain and Lady Shiva, so that much I do know, and that's going to play a very big, significant part. Now, from what they're telling me for the synopsis, let me read it off to you guys. Supposedly, at first, she's supposed to be kidnapped by Black Mask, which is going to be played now by Ewan McGregor, but they're claiming now, because Harley, Huntress, and Black Canary are supposed to be find a way to get her. But now they're stating this. It reports the female team will actually be tasked with protecting Cain after she discovers a diamond that belongs to Black Mask. This should keep Cain quite involved throughout the movie, which I do agree, because if she has this, they're trying to locate her, whatever. In the midst of this, I feel like we might see some sorts of fight sequences with her being, because she's not going to let on probably off the bat, the potential of what she can do, who knows, to fight back and get out of these particular situations. So I'm curious to see that. Plus, this gives me an idea because it reminds me of another young girl, and that was Daphne King, who did X-23 and Logan. She was just phenomenal in that movie. That thing was so good. I saw that thing 4 times. That's one of those movies I said I saw quite a bit of times, and it was really good. Just sometimes just to go back to see her sequences, because it was just out of this world. But yes, I really hope they bring it with her in regards to being able to showcase her talents, so to speak. That would be nice. But it looks like we now have somebody fitting everyone. I think those are the last of the main cast that's supposed to be in this particular movie. Of course, Harley Quinn, like I said, Black Canary, Huntress, the cop played by Rosie Perez, of course, Ewan McGregor playing Black Mask. I'm excited because it now looks like we have a full-fledged cast for this, and I'm excited for them to get started because this comes out February of 2020. It's supposed to come out 2019, but they pushed it back. Nothing wrong with that. It gives them time to get everything together the way they need to make this work, because like I've said many times about this particular movie, it's female-led, and I want this to do very well because it doesn't seem like they put forth the initiative to put out enough of these. And to me personally, I see many of them that are male-led all the time, which just seems synonymous when it comes to any type of Hollywood or movies. So I like to see a little bit more females in here. It's not going to always be equal, but they can still at least try to take the initiative and do that. So moving on, you guys. Now, next order of business is DC, not DC, excuse me, Marvel. Now, I'm hearing more wording about the Eternals. Now, I had not really talked about this before because it was kind of secretive because of the fact that Marvel is now going to Phase 4. I know we're going to be dealing, of course, with Captain Marvel and dealing with more of the quantum realm, so to speak. And I think with that is why we're going to start hearing more about this. Now we're getting word that they're going to possibly start shooting, doing production going into the fall of 2019, which is actually nice. Now I'm looking forward to knowing a little bit more about the Eternals. I know nothing about this pertaining to Marvel. I think a lot of people, unless you read the comics, probably really are not familiar with them as well. So at least I don't feel like I'm alone in that instance. But I'm excited to know more. I'm not sure who is directing as of right now. Kevin Feige says they definitely see the potential of the Eternals being attached to the Marvel universe, which is exciting to me. Secondly, I'm looking forward to seeing who will be cast in this. Like I said, we're just at the beginning stages. Nothing else is written in stone, whichever. But hopefully, if they're trying to start this maybe in the fall of next year, maybe we'll get a 2020 release. I don't know. It depends on what exactly needs to be done. I would think with this dealing with a lot of quantum realm, that dealing with the CGI, make sure everything's perfected. And then this being a way for them to kind of open up the storyline a little bit more in regards to that aspect, seeing that we kind of got a little bit of that dealing with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then with James Gunn putting his stamp on that, opening up for more people to understand a little bit more and learning more. As I said, Captain Marvel, we're going to learn a little bit more about that. Of course, they're dealing with that up, in space, coming back down to Earth, dealing with Nick Fury, all these good things I'm looking forward to seeing in her story depicted when her movie comes out in March. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for that. I'm looking just forward to knowing more about it as time goes on. And I figure going into next year, closer to spring, we'll start hearing more. Definitely by then we'll hopefully start hearing who's been cast and all the different characters within it. That will be nice, to know more who will be, if it's any certain particular villains, or antagonists, whatever. I'd like to know who that will be portrayed as well. I'm all here for that. So Marvel, just like I said, they just keep just knocking them out the park, setting stuff up, whichever. Like I said, that's Phase 4, and Kevin is probably make sure everything's running in line with how they have this stuff set up for, the time scale of how they want everything to come out. So everything kind of intertwines, which I like. I can say kudos to them for that since the first Iron Man all the way down here. 10 years later, here we are. So I'm looking forward to that. So moving on from that, you guys. One movie I'm actually kind of excited about, if it does happen, it's still at the beginning stages, is the discussion now is coming up about Ghostbusters 3. Now, one of our, main leads from the first one, Dan Aykroyd, has put out there into the sphere that the script is being worked on now, and it looks pretty good. Now, that gets me excited. I'm going to tell you, Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. I love Ghostbusters 2. Now, we already know they did a reboot of Swords where it was basically female-led, and it was fine for what it was. A lot of people tried to bash it. Some people, storyline-wise, which is where I want to keep it. Then some people went there because of the female cast, and I'm not even going to go into any of that, whatever, and all that. I don't have time for, ignorance of that magnitude, but I like that even when they did the female led, a lot of the cast members from the original, did a nice little, kind of walk on, screen time, whichever. We had Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, and Sigourney Weaver. That was respectful. But see, the thing is, Dan Aykroyd definitely wants to do this. Bill Murray has stated that he might be able to be persuaded to come on board, which is nice. That means that Dan has to milk it for everything he needs to make that happen. Ernie Hudson probably will come on board. Hey, I'm curious. Annie Potts will do that. Would be interesting if she does come back. I would love to see her. I don't know about Sigourney Weaver. It's a possibility she might do a quick little cameo, because if you all recall from the last one they did, they were together. They would be, slowly got back together towards, the end, like they were kind of, might try to put them back together, whichever. She'd of course moved on, had her baby, her little boy. So I don't know how that would go, but that would be nice. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping that is true, that would be nice because I had heard rumors that Dan Aykroyd really wanted them to do some sort of Ghostbuster series. I don't see that happening, bringing the whole original cast back. That would never happen. A movie, more doable, more realistic. So I'm hoping this is true. If the script is being worked on and is looking real good and he's liking what he's seeing, whichever, that will be nice. It will be sad because, of course, you all know someone is missing from that, it's Harold Ramis. So that would kind of hurt, whichever. But if most of the general cast is together, it could still make it really fun. And Bill Murray is hilarious to me. So if he, has his little comedic timing, as he always does, then it should be not an issue. And Dan Aykroyd is hilarious as well, So those two made it hilarious for both the films. I just love me some Bill Murray. So anyway, you guys. So again, fingers crossed. I hope I hear more, and when I do, I will let you all know. So now another kind of, not to say remake, whatever, but reboot. In some ways, a reboot remake. Child's Play. Now I'd already talked about this. How at first I was kind of like not understanding why they're doing a reboot of sorts, and then to hear about this Child's Play TV series, still not understanding that at all. But now we're hearing word, of course, that they have a poster. I'm going to put it up here somewhere, and then also that the date, of course, will be coming out, of course, June of next year. You already know about the synopsis of this. They're trying to keep it closer to the original storyline, whichever. Now, I made some key discussions about that. If you all remember, Child's Play, it follows a mother who gives her son a toy doll for his birthday, unaware of its more sinister nature. Of course, you all know. Now, with this one, I think I recall telling you guys that this particular one does not look as, it looks somewhat similar to it, but looks more, kind of robot, mechanical, like whichever. And it's based where somebody, I think, kind of causes themselves suicide, whatever. I think it's an Asian gentleman in some sort of warehouse, and from there something must happen where it causes, similar to the original, where he takes on a certain like life or whatever within this particular doll. Now, they did state this, and I want to note this as well. They said the new good guy doll is named Buddy. And they said in homage to, of course, the real life one, My Buddy, the doll that, served as inspiration for the look of Chucky. So that's interesting. His name will be in the now new remake of Child's Play. Now, word is the main creator of it is none too happy about this movie coming out. Secondly, Brad Dourif is not going to be doing the voice for it. He's actually tied to the TV series that they're trying to create. And let me just go here. I was talking to my friend again about this, and he gave me the stinkest face. He's just like, what can they possibly do with this TV series? I want to know exactly how the storyline is supposed to go. Now, is this going to be a TV series? Like I said before, is it going to do, how many seasons are they trying to do? 2, 3? How is this going to gradually work? With this, if he's going around, killing spree with her and all that, trying to find a way to inhabit the, maybe this little teen, this little boy like he does in the original ones. We don't know. And that's where I'm trying to understand. Secondly, let's say he gets away. Is he going to take over, eventually somebody else's body or take over another toy? I really need more instances in understanding the overall synopsis of exactly how the storyline is supposed to take effect, where it's going to be consistency in the actual storyline that can move into maybe a season 2. How many episodes for season 1? Matter of fact, what premium channels is going to be on, whichever, if we can see. Are they going to be very graphic with this? Is how, horror-like thriller will it be? Is it going to be on a regular channel, whatever? All these things do play a part, and I'm curious to see that once we know more. I don't know if this is coming out in 2019, or they're going to move this into 2020 after their little reboot to kind of give us some space. It's so many things I'm thinking when it comes to the Chucky Child's Play movie. I just have no words to even figure out what. But Brad Dourif must feel very confident that they have something worthwhile that he will consider doing, and following, of course, the creator of, Chucky in itself. So I'm still going to listen to what they say because I'm curious and I want to know more, and then I'm going to see how I feel. And then once they do a trailer, I'm going to really have to be very, very truthful in my feelings when it comes out. This is something I'm really going to watch, or just look like some crap. And I'm not going to hold back. So that's just how I feel about that. But of course, like I said, the movie comes out, and let's get it right, June 21st. I know it's June, but we have the actual date. So June 21st, 2019, you guys. Looking forward to that. You already know who's casted. I'm going to note that up in here. We have our little buddy from the movie Lights Out, excuse me, in this one, of course, and we have Brian Tyree Henry is in this one as well. I forgot her name. My apologies for that. But that's the main cast: the mother, the son, and then the detective is played by Brian. So I'm looking forward to seeing, him do his thing. He's a little busy guy doing quite a lot of movies as of lately. So I like that he's kind of mixing up as well. So, but with that said, moving on. Now for this one, I'm really, really excited for this one because this is one of those movies that came out in the '90s when I was a young teen. High school, yeah, probably I think it was either a junior or senior when I saw this one, and I really loved it. This is based off of the movie that was done previously called The Witches, and it started Angelica Houston. Now I'm looking forward to this one because this is definitely going to be our kind of like a reimaging, a remake of this. And at first, I didn't realize that Guillermo del Toro was attached to this. He had actually wrote an adaptation of this, but for some reason, it fell through the cracks. He actually picked up other types of movies and stuff that he was working on, so it fell to the wayside. Robert Zemeckis has now picked it up. I'm excited for that. I had told you all this months ago how happy I am because he's one of those directors I love. And to find out that he's attached makes me all excited for what he plans to do with this now. The kicker here is this. If you all remember the first one, of course, the grandmother, taking care of her grandson because he loses both his parents. He goes to live with her. When she was a young child, she came across some witches and all that. So she's, of course, now older. She ends up realizing that they have, come or whatever. She decides to whisk her grandson away to some sort of, place with her and all that. And then unbeknownst to her, that they actually are there having some sort of seminar, some little, gathering or whichever, and get caught up in that. And then her little grandson, who's named Luke, ends up getting turned into a mouse, and he has to rush to town, whatever, otherwise he'll be a mouse forever, whichever. And she's trying to help him so they can take down the witch and all her, minions of sorts. Now for this one, it's going to be the same premise, but now we're going to have it where the actual lead will be black. It's going to be the witch will be most likely black, the grandmother, and then the son. And now they're just similar to the way I said for the original synopsis. They say when the parents are killed, like I said, the young boy goes to live with his feisty, loving grandmother. Now it says from this one, she's going to flee him to a resort, a swanky resort in the South. Now this movie is going to be done, case in point, looking like it's set in Alabama. So they're going to do some of this. If I'm not mistaken, they said Louisiana and Georgia. So, and then they're going to have some other parts of some other sets, whichever, but they're going to do this mostly in the South. So that's a little difference in it, which is going to be really interesting, which I have no problem with this, and that's fine. Still don't know if the little boy will be playing Luke. The title of the name, they might change his name. I'm not sure. I don't see why not. Keep the same name. It's nothing wrong with that. Keep some similarities from the original. This is based off of a novel, but it would be nice if they keep it kind of somewhat fresh. But some people probably don't even know about this movie unless you're around my age bracket at the time now, and then going back then, whichever. Like I said, I think I was 18, 19 something when this came on. I actually enjoyed it for what it was. Now, I'm curious to see who will be playing the high grand witch. I'm curious to see who will be her assistant because she was very nasty to her assistant. Secondly, I'm looking forward to seeing who will be the grandmother and the young grandson. That would be nice. Also, the little boy, Luke, had a friend that he met at the resort. The cute little one that was little pudgy, had little cute little love handles and whatnot, liked to eat a lot. And daddy and mommy didn't care for that. He got turned as well. So they might give him a little, friend to befriend during this time, whatever, and they both end up turning. I'm wondering how they might do like some sort of practical effects or maybe some CGI probably to how she's gonna look, because I'm gonna post how Angelica Houston looked playing her, and she was just hideous. So I'm totally here for how she's going to look, because I can only imagine how creepy they're going to make her. I'm thinking they're not going to make this rated R. They're going to make this PG-13 because they want a lot of people to enjoy this. So I don't see that happening, and that's nothing wrong with that. It still was what it was because she was creepy looking back then. I wasn't too scared, but it's just like, oh, grotesque. When she took off her fake, human, mask or whatever, you see her true face. Oh, it was just something a lot to behold. And so, but other than that, there's nothing I noted here talking about exactly when they plan for this to come out. I'm thinking they say that it's going to probably start sometime in 2019 for production. So I figure if it's not coming out in 2019, we'll probably get sometime in 2020. So again, if I know anything else in regards to exactly when this is going to release, I will let you guys know. But I'm definitely looking forward to this movie. Those are one of my favorites I love growing up. So last order of news, this one. I'm actually excited about it. I talk about it every chance I get because I like to know more and more and more. Just the hype for me is real for this one, and I'm looking forward to this. Plus, I'm a fan of the guy who's the lead. This has to do with Morbius, and of course, starring Jared Leto. Now, of course, we're hearing that the filming will be starting very, very soon. Now, they posted a video of him, going through like a shaving little moment, whatever, to get himself prepped, get ready to start doing stuff. I'm assuming they're gonna start kind of playing around with his look as Morbius. I'm looking forward to him playing this role just from the way he looks from the comic book stand, how the makeup is going to look. Of course, he's a biochemist turned kind of like anti-hero who takes on vampire abilities as well as the features of a vampire, and I'm looking forward to how that's going to look. We already talked about who the main antagonist villain will be, which is somebody who's considered a dear friend. Still don't know if they're going to showcase anything about the woman that he loves, who eventually down the road turns into a vampire herself as well. I love, hopefully, if they do that, because if this one does well, that means that we're coming off of Venom doing very well at the box office. Of course, in the United States and of course overseas. I mean, they've surpassed the money that Justice League, made. So that lets me know that even though it got mixed reviews, it still did well. That they feel confident now that we're definitely going to get a sequel. I already felt we were going to get that anyway. Secondly, it's going to open up the floodgates for them to do some other ones. And I had to note the other ones, like the movie. What is it? Oh gosh, Craven. Then also the Silver and Black, which I'm dying to know more about. So I haven't heard anything as of lately for that one. And then of course, the possibility of another, if this one does well, Morbius 2, whichever, which is what I want, because I want to know more about him and then, other parts of him. But I'm looking forward to seeing like the transformation part from when he finally, he's turned. It's going to be good. How graphic it's going to be, because I heard it's going to be a rated R, and I'm so happy. Not how they did us wrong with Venom making it PG-13. Yeah, it did good in the money. I hope the second one is rated R, because I feel like they duped us with this crap, saying, "Oh, we never really said this." I'm like, whatever. You liars. You lied. You were supposed to make it R. You folded out. You punked out because you're worried about being attached to Spider-Man. It's like, it is whatever. You think Spider-Man was Messiah, and like, he's not. He's one of many other comic book, movies that people like. Whatever. It's not the end all be all, but whatever. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited about that. And definitely, hopefully, they might not show us anything right away. We might see like a hand. I feel like they're going to tease us with his look. We're not going to see it right away. He might show us part of his face, or maybe a hand just to let us know, yeah, they're finally putting together a look. They might want to keep that under wraps, because if this is coming out, like I said, for the date, and we still don't know previously exactly when it's going to be released. We're just hearing about them starting production soon. It's definitely going into the beginning of the year. That's why I'm curious to know if this is going to be something for 2019, or is this going straight for 2020, because they got to lock in a date. Because I'm going to tell you, the way things are set up in 2019, I feel like we're going to do a 2020, and if they do a 2020, we might get something during Comic-Con for his movie. And like I said, I'm looking forward to whoever his antagonist, who's going to be cast as that. And just moving forward, just seeing who else will be cast in this movie, whichever. But our buddy's at the helm. Jared Leto's going to bring whichever. I know a lot of people didn't feel too happy about him and Suicide Squad as Joker, but I'm like, he did perfectly fine. His character looks similar to ones from the comic book, so it's like you can't go wrong with that. Whatever, he's works with what he's got. And I think he does overall really well. He's done many of the movies that I've actually enjoyed. So I'm hoping he hits it on the nail with this one, because the more and more I read up on this particular character, the more and more I'm excited and intrigued to see this one. So I can't say enough about this. So like I always tell you guys, when I know more, I want to tell you more. And with that said, you guys, that is it for my movie news. If it's any of these that you all want to discuss, let me know. Just hit me up in the comment section so we can just, go back and forth. I'm good for my replying. So with that said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next movie news. You guys take care.